Well, Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse is a member of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council, and as you've seen, he joins us live in our Lagos studio. Good morning, Dr. Pearse.
Good morning.
Good to have you on the program. You know, we're just discussing the issue with ASU, you know.
Yes.
But this one is more political. I know, yes, you're a Don, but this is not about the union issues. This is more intra-political party, the issues within the PDP. And as we saw there, I mean, the chairman of the BOT had a meeting with Governor Wike yesterday, and it's been a long time coming. A lot of people thought this was not going to happen. Basically, seeing the stance and some of the pronouncements we've seen in the past. But from what you heard, the PDP BOT chairman, Senator Wabara, saying, well, peace takes a long time. We had a frank conversation. The governor also saying, well, yes, peace, yes, might be achieved, but it will take quite a number of days. We have just, what, 150 days or thereabouts to the 2023 presidential election. How close is your party to reaching some sort of consensus, a compromise, to resolve the issues and pull your ranks together?
It seems to me that as the days go by, the issue of a few people who have decided not to participate fully in the campaign would fade away, would go into the background, because we have inaugurated our campaign council. We have launched the campaign. Various states are beginning to have their plans, their rallies, and so on. So the campaign is going on, and the issues of disagreement will be worked out as we go on.
So it's a moving train.
That's what I think it is.
But the question is that train functioning on all its cylinders? And that's a big deal, because if you have someone like Governor Wike saying, I'm not going to be a part, other governors, his allies not being a part. We've even seen the leader of the PDP in Lagos State, your state, Chieftain, just saying, well, I'm also on the same page with him. But you, also from Lagos, are part of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council. So clearly, even in Lagos, there are issues.
Look, politics is about issues. A great philosopher described politicians as here today, gone tomorrow, gladiators. That's what they are. I think it is Plato, another philosopher, who described politics itself as war by other means. Look at everywhere in the world. This is the way politics is. If you are waiting for consensus for everybody, 100% of people to be on board, you're wasting your time. It may never happen. We were lucky Governor Wike and a few people voicing out their protest. There are many other people who are not saying anything and are not going to do anything for the campaign. They are also, so you got to go with what you have. And I think what we have now in PDP is a winning strategy, a winning candidate.
Right.
Atiku has been going all over the place talking about his 5-point agenda. That is what's most important now to Nigerians.
You pointed out
we
a very
are going
important...
into an election. One person is going to be the president.
Dr. Pearse, you pointed out a very important issue, which is there are those voicing their discontent openly, frankly, Governor Wike and others. But there are others who are not even voicing, and I think that's going to be a major challenge. But back to this issue now. I know you have voiced your support for the chairman of your party, Senator Ayu, in times past. And you've said that removing him or for him to step down, whichever way it swings. But anyway, taking him out of office will not be good for your party at this time. So your stance is clear. Do you think that the party will come to a compromise and say, well, eventually, since this looks like it's a way forward, it's what will reunite the party, do you think your party will eventually tilt towards that?
The PDP is solidly behind Dr. Ayu, staying on as the national chairman of the party, because he said when he got elected that if a northerner emerges as the presidential candidate of the party, he will step down if the party says he should step down.
Oh, so you're adding that proviso?
Oh, yes. I can send you the interview. It was in Vanguard newspaper. It was on TV. In fact, I think there was one on this very channel. I have the copy. He said that. It is conditional. And guess what? Who is the party? The party is the national executive council of the party. They met about 2-3 weeks ago and decided that you should stay on. So what we have here is individuals. And if you want me to take them one by one, I will tell you, they are not going to derail this election.
But how democratic is the position of the National Working Committee or Economic Council of the party? We've had many PDP members come on our program to demand for his resignation. You have 5 governors behind Governor Wike who are demanding the resignation of the national chairman of the party. Is that a position that the party is considering important enough to resolving the issue?
Democracy is about the numbers, right? For instance, in this campaign council, there's 600 people. Former governors, present governors, former vice presidents, former presidents, ministers, ambassadors, all sorts of very important people. 600. So if 50 people say they are not going to participate, it's not the best for us. We wish all 600 were on board. But as we are now, we are moving on. When you say, is it democratic? What else do you want? Who is going to decide for the party? Individuals? No governor, no individual decides for the party. This is democracy. In the democratic setting, the Constitution says the National Executive Committee decides on the issues. They have voted. By the way, all of these people, these governors, they're all members of that committee. So why don't they go there and voice their opinion? What happens is if they go there, the majority will vote against their interest. That is what has happened. So that democratically, we are on board. The campaign is moving on while we try to resolve the issues with some people, a few, who are not with the party. Now, let me tell you something.
Let's be clear on where you belong, sir. You're saying that Governor Wike has a right to voice his reservations.
Definitely.
You're also saying that the party is moving on.
Yes. Governor Wike and anybody else have a right in a democracy to state their opinion, but they are not the party. For instance, a governor is not the party in his state. Let me give you an example of what happened with our own Southwest. Our leader in Southwest is Governor Makinde, the only governor we have. Well, we have another governor now in Osun State, but thank God for that. But actively, he's been the governor, our leader in Southwest. He said, is supporting Wike's position, and you must step down. Guess what? Out of the 6 states in the geopolitical zone under him, 5 of the state parties, that's the party. The governor is not the party. This is a democracy. The states say they are with Ayu, Lagos State, Ogun State, Ondo State, Ekiti State. Everybody says they are staying with Ayu. Therefore, for me, the party is with Ayu staying on now. Right. For stability.
Well, Dr. Pearse,
let us move on.
That issue came up. Governor Wike spoke about it, saying that, well, yeah, it might appear as that, but I mean, I think he called it guerrilla warfare. You don't exactly, expose your tactics. And also, yes, you might see people within the Presidential Campaign Council, according to him, but doesn't mean that they're necessarily on the same page with the party. It's just,
I said the same thing.
It's not. It's just part of the whole political
I said the same thing.
But you said in October 21, 2020, that was last year, in an interview you granted on Vanguard, and you said you were responding to the consensus candidacy of, well, he wasn't chairman then, but, he was consensus that Senator. Are you saying it's proper to cede that position to the North Central? And you've been talking about democracy, having the right kind of representation. There is talk about federal character, ensuring that your party, which has it in its constitution, ensures proper representation. So at that time, you thought it was proper to cede the chairmanship to the North Central, am I right?
The North Central.
No, it's actually you. I'm just trying to get confirmation.
Okay.
It's an interview you granted.
Okay.
It was published in Vanguard October the 21st.
Okay.
Yes. So you thought it was proper then?
Whatever the decision is, look, it's a democracy.
You thought it was proper then,
yes,
right?
I'm a Democrat to the core.
Okay.
And that's the secret. What is going on now, this protest is undemocratic. You know why? The democratic way is to say, what does the party say?
So why did you think it was proper?
Once the National Executive Council says, this is where we're going, that's where I'm going.
So why do you think it was proper to cede the chairmanship, Bukola, to the North Central at that time?
Well, look, I didn't say cede anything to anybody.
No, you said it was proper. When it came out as a consensus, say, yes, this is a proper way. It's actually published, as you said.
He won the election.
October 21st.
He won the election. And I said, this is good. he won the election.
So you said it was proper to cede to the North Central. Why? I'm just trying to understand. Look, why did you say that?
It is not a question of cede to North Central or cede to anybody. If you are contesting an election and you are in the race and you win, and I think that you are a proper candidate, then I will say congratulations. That's what I did.
So you've not answered the question. Why did you think it was proper to cede to the North Central at that time, when he came out as a consensus candidate?
Who else was contesting against him?
So you've not answered my question. Why do you think
that's the question.
It was proper? Do you think it was proper for the sake of representation to have other regions at least get some sort of representation in the leadership of the party?
Definitely, I want our party to be fully representative. And the PDP is 100% representative now.
Does
Let me
it
give you an example.
Does it look representative?
Listen. The national chairman is from the north. The second most important position in the party hierarchy is the national secretary. He's from the south. All the way down, from the top to the bottom, we are like north, south. That's the way we always do it. Exactly, that's the way it is now. The only problem right now is Governor Wike and a few people saying, you must go. That's all.
And in line with your party convention, which has been echoed by many members of your party, if the national chairman emerges from the north, naturally, the presidential candidacy should go to the south. But now we have what we have on our hands.
Yes.
Fine. Even if Senator Ayu added that proviso that should the party agree that he steps down, he would step down. Isn't it gentlemanly, noble for him to say, indeed, the presidential candidate of the party has emerged from the north, and he's from the north, that he should step down?
In the first place.
And you are a Democrat. You have said it repeatedly that you're a Democrat. Shouldn't it be democratic for him to step down?
There is nothing like that in democracy. Democracy is you run an election, you win the election. Now you are talking about a moral issue. It's talking about for him to decide. He feels, as I feel, as most people in the party feel, that for him to step down now is counterproductive to our party. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. And that is what the National Executive Committee has seen. You understand me? So we're looking at it from that point of view, and also point of view that it is not even constitutional that he has to step down. It is if the party feels. We look at where we are now. We say, well, the way things are, I think it's better for you to step down. Then he will step down. That's what the National Executive Committee is about. Collective decision, collective agreement.
And the challenge is whether or not everybody's on the same page. And as you said, political parties are about issues. And again, I keep going back to that because there wasn't even an election at that time when you said it's only proper, and it makes sense for the Northern Caucus, to cede the chairmanship. It was when he came out, there was no election, that you had not conducted your election as at last year when you put out that statement. It was a response to questions asked you by Vanguard, and you said it's proper. Let it be ceded to the North Central. By the Northern Caucus, by the way, there was no election. And I imagine that it was for the expediency of having some sort of representation. And people look at your party, and I think it's important for you to answer. In terms of selling your party to the people, when you have the candidate, the presidential candidate from the north, the chairman of the party from the north, do you think presenting it to Nigerians...
The national secretary from the south.
No, we're talking about the national chairman.
The BOT
and
from
the presidential candidate.
Look,
when you present it to people... No, it's
why
a question.
Are you also
when you present
concerned
it to
about
people,
PDP problems?
You're the political party that put yourself forward to rule the country.
We're not the only political party in Nigeria.
You're one of the political
parties.
Talk
about the other political party and their problems.
Do you want to talk about the APC?
Listen,
You're the one on the program now.
Our problem is a minor problem. A few people, leaders, yes, very influential, yes, are not in agreement with the party. Do you agree that's the party speaking? The National Executive Committee is the party. When the State Executive Committee, Lagos State, for instance, speaks, that's the party, not Chief Body Judge in Lagos. When the Ogun State chapter of the party, the chairman, the secretary, all the way down, about 30 executive members, when they speak as a unit, that's the party, not the governor of that state, not the candidate, not the governorship candidate of that state. That's democracy.
You've not answered
and
the question.
And that's the way our party works.
Pardon me, you've not answered the question. So the question is, when you present to people, and this is practical, I think you shouldn't think this is not, we're trying to answer questions for the people. So when you present the presidential candidate from the North, you have a national chairman from the North. This is my question to people. How have they received it? Do you think that people look at it and say, okay, this party represents our diverse culture and ethnicity?
There's a major problem in Nigeria. Let me just say that. Listen.
I've not landed on the question. So
you've asked the same question again and again.
Do you think that people will say that this is representative of the multicultural and multi-ethnic Nigeria?
Okay. Let me say this. We have this problem in Nigeria. The president must come from your hometown. Why? Is that the president? This is why Buhari has shown us pepper in Nigeria. You think that when a president comes from one place, he's supposed to represent that place? Are you not supposed to be working for the party, for the country? This is the problem. Everybody wants Igbo president, Yoruba president, Yemilokan. It's my turn. It's the turn of Igbos. Come on, rubbish. Let me tell you, we are going to look back in all these things going on, and you're going to quote people like me. I will remind you of the infantile discussion going on in Nigeria today. It is a disgrace to democracy. Everybody's saying, it's my turn. It's the turn of Igbo. Very fair saying, it's Igbos. What kind of rubbish is this?
Dr. Pearse, I find that interesting.
You go for an election, if you win, you represent the people.
I find that interesting because coming from you...
We are not concerned about whether the president is... You go for an election. If you win the election, you represent the people. That's what we have done.
Dr. Pearse, that's not the goal of the discussion. I imagine the objective is for every part of Nigeria to feel fully represented in the structures of party politics and in government. But let's move forward. You have explained away some of these issues to be, political parties going through the motions, and there are minor issues that can be resolved if I have captured your thoughts adequately. But would you also dismiss the return of money by members of the National Working Committee as a minor issue for which we have seen documents surface online?
When you have a disagreement, all sorts of things begin to pop up. That's another childish behavior on the part of those involved. When did they receive this money? When did they now decide they're going to come and make it public and they're going to return it? Something funny is going on.
What's the money about? To do the right thing?
Did you see what the money is about? Did you read the immediate past publicity secretary of the party? And how he explained it? That these members of this committee, they do not receive a salary. So that whenever monies are made, maybe through election, people buying forms and so, they give them this stipend.
Okay.
This is not the first time. Wait a minute. Is this the first time they are collecting such monies? Why are they returning now? This is just bad faith.
All right,
that's all that's going on.
Granted. But the governor of Rivers State has said that indeed the return of the funds justifies the allegations he leveled against the national chairman of the party about receiving certain amount from a candidate. Is that childish also?
That has nothing to do with the regular remittances of money to these people. That's the point I'm making. The issue about the 1 billion naira, we don't know.
That's not the answer to the question. Is it childish also? Because you say the return of the funds is childish.
Yes.
So Governor Wike's reaction to the return of funds, is it also childish?
His response?
His reaction to the return of funds, saying that it justifies his position on the allegations he leveled against the national chairman of the party of receiving money.
It makes no sense.
Bribe, of receiving bribe.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Were these people bribed? Bribed to do what? Come on. This is money they normally receive. Is this the first time they are receiving such money? Did they receive the money to go and vote in some way? Did they vote in that way? Did they receive? So, the 1 billion naira has not been explained. Governor Wike has not come out to say exactly who took the money and from whom.
Was your party investigating?
He said the national chairman took the money.
From whom?
He alleged that the national chairman took the money. And
I think that should be a concern.
He said if it would be denied, that he would be willing to provide more details.
Well, let them sort that out. You and I don't know what's going on.
So
it's
if
an
the said money was
that
not,
has not been proven.
if the said money was not bribe, Dr. Pearse, why did the NWC members return the money?
You better ask them. I just told you it's not a bribe because this is the money. Is this the first time they are receiving such monies? No.
So essentially, this is how money changes hands, or monies are
This
sent
is how
to people within your
they gave them
party.
a stipend. They accepted it. This
So
is
they've
not
been
the
given
first
stipend
time.
in the past.
They don't
But this is
receive
an
a
exception.
salary.
This is an exception. They're returning it. Why did they return it?
Because they are angry with the situation. They want to pressurize Atiku to get out.
You know, I'm
they
not
are looking
sure.
for any excuse to blackmail the man to make him look bad. That's what they're trying to do.
Okay, so in winding down, clearly lots of issues. First, is your party going to be investigating the statement made by Governor Wike regarding the 1 billion naira? Because it's a big one, really. Is your party interested in investigating? I know it's someone that you are fond of, the chairman, but regardless of that, would you be supporting your party investigating the statement by Governor Wike on the 1 billion naira?
Look, if you want to go into this, it's not my position to say if it is true. Of course, it's terrible. It is terrible. But Governor Wike himself must now tell us how did he know this? Who is involved? What's really going on? This thing is complex. I don't know. If you look at what is going on in Rivers State, the allegations against Governor Wike himself, unbelievable. He bought forms for everybody. People that didn't support him, made sure they didn't get on the ballot. Alleged, he bribed people to vote for his candidate. Alleged, allegation on allegation. I'm not interested in that. Whatever they want to do, let them go on. But I'm telling you,
this is really important.
This is
Dr. Pearse,
campaign.
this is really important. It looks really, really messy, and it speaks to the marketability of your party at the end of the day at the 2023 elections. With all of this, do you think Nigerians should be taking the PDP seriously? And if they decided, oh, we're tired of the PDP, we've had a 16-year experience with the PDP in time past, we're tired of other parties and would rather go this way, would you be blaming Nigerians?
I will not blame Nigerians. I will blame Nigerians if they don't listen to currently what's going on. We have a candidate who has a 5-point agenda. Unify the country, promote education for human capacity, make sure you secure this country, and make sure you impose, you argue for the economic recovery of this nation.
Right.
And you go to the National Assembly and pledge and debate and lobby to restructure Nigeria. This is what Atiku is about. This is what people should be looking at. Well, not whether party is this. All of us have problems.
Well, we have 142 days to the election. Very interesting days ahead. We'd like to thank you so much, Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse is a member of the PDP Presidential Campaign Council.
Thank you for having me.
For your time, and we wish your party the very best.
Thank you so much.
Well, let's take a